So you've had quite a history of being at first a trader and having a small account on CT to eventually being very successful in your trading career and kind of making a pivot to angel investing in crypto and now becoming one of the bigger angel investors that I know of, at least. What has gotten you into crypto and what was your history before you got in here?
Okay, sure. So before crypto, I was underwriting government bonds. I was in
Hmm.
TradFi. Um, I did that for a bit, and then um, I was thinking about where to park my money, and I thought, okay, well, there's like crypto is a very inefficient market, and there's uh, just like a lot of inefficiencies like in the market to take advantage of. So, like for example,
Hmm.
um, in the early days, there were no like proper market makers. Like there were like
Hmm.
these like bucket shops that you just paid money to and like prayed they didn't steal your coins and they would like market make for you on
Hmm.
these very shady exchanges, right? Like in 2017, there was this place called Hit BTC, um,
Hmm.
and then every four withdrawals, out of every five withdrawals, one of them would just get banked by the team and they just like keep it. Like you just like lose your money.
Hmm.
Um, so like that was the kind of risk you were taking back in 2017. Like people weren't like risking like big amounts on exchanges. Um, like because it was so shady and like you had no idea who was running any of these things. Yeah, so like you had these like very how do I put it? Like they're not like great. Like you didn't have like talented people back then. Like it's not like these
Yes.
days where like everything's like automated. Like you have these like guys from like Ivy League schools, like actual HFT firms coming in and arbing stuff. Back then, like you could like do a lot of it manually. So like, yeah. So like, sorry, I just went off on a tangent. But anyways, there was, yeah. So like on Hit BTC, there would be, um, market making bots where you could reverse engineer their algorithms and
Hmm.
figure out where they would be placing their orders. So you just like front run them and just like milk their money basically.
So,
And then you
so
just
you
prayed
got
you
it.
could withdraw your money after that.
So the main motivator for you in the beginning was it was so incredibly inefficient, but there was like a 1 in 5 chance on HitBTC that you lost your money, and that was basically, because the strategies were so profitable, you thought it was worth running the risk, and
Yeah, I
basically
mean, like
avoid the differences.
yeah, you just assume like whatever you deposit, you lose, and then if you can withdraw anything, you're like, oh, sweet, like I got my money out.
Yeah, wasn't it with HitBTC that they would ban your entire account, not just stop a withdrawal?
It depends. Like if you withdrew too much at the same time, they just like freeze your account. Like you have like no clawback, like nothing. They just be like, yeah, like goodbye.
Uh,
They just like
uh,
take your shit and just leave.
so you got in the beginning there for the inefficiencies, and how did that evolve then? Because when I met you for the first time, I think you were quite active on BitMEX mainly in those days. Like, how did you make that
Uh,
transition then?
I mean, I'm still relatively active on futures. It's like a lot of it's still like my bread and butter. Like it's a different strategy these days compared to like
Mhm.
taking money from like I don't know like actual idiots. Now you actually have to like think about strategies and like what to do and like plan ahead instead of just like oh like blind buying or selling or whatever. Um, yeah.
Did
I guess part of it is like after being in the space for so long, like like I don't agree with the financial nihilism attitude that's been going around. Like there's stuff here that's being built that's useful, that can have a chance to change the world. Um, and like why not, support the people who are trying to do it, right? Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do
so,
here.
so what you're trying to tell me is, well, in the beginning you came for the inefficiencies, but now you're actually seeing the value add by crypto. So now that's the reason why you switched to angel investing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, that would be the way to put it. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's still like, uh, I guess like mostly it's like 70% trading, 30% angel investing. Um,
Hmm.
but as I don't know, I feel like as time goes on, it's like you have
Times
like
will change again.
more people who are here to uh, who are just here for the money, rather
Hmm.
than like building for like ideas and stuff. So like you have these people come in and then like like valuations get jacked up or like you get like really dumb ideas being pitched. Um,
You said that there were some like real life-changing applications, so to say. What are some of those applications that you're so excited about, and in which ones do you have angel bags?
Hold on, give me a moment. Let me scroll through my list here. Um,
If you
let's
say
see
blast,
here.
by the way, I'm gonna blur it out.
I mean, I like Blast. I mean, like Pac-Man always has something up his sleeve. Um, like the what they're doing now with the mobile only stuff, or like sorry, not
Yeah,
mobile, but like mobile focused. Um,
yeah,
I think like starting in 21, actually, a lot of my trading and trading execution ended up going onto my phone because like um the way that Sam set up FTX, if you use the internet website,
yeah.
like there's like the purposeful delay, but on your phone, like there wouldn't be the lag. So um like if you traded on your phone, like you wouldn't run into those problems where like people were tweeting about and adding SBF on Twitter, where they're saying like, oh, like there's a lag between my order. Like you wouldn't get that on mobile. So like
Wait,
that was one I
was that actually a thing? Because I didn't use the application that much. But was there actually like a designed lag in the browser itself, like a browser application?
yeah. So on the web UI, like there
But I
was a
mean, like all
built-in
time, by the
lag.
way. I don't mean at the end. When FTX was down, I know that they did it on purpose then, but was it
Yeah.
actually like before that already too?
I'm not too sure. I just remember when there was um like overloads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
yeah, like there were like overload moments during high volatility periods. Um
I, s- I see.
like you,
Do don't you
using
feel
the
like you're
mobile app
missing? Oh, sorry.
would like you would be able to get your orders in if you like hit them on your phone versus like trying to jam it in on the web
Okay.
browser.
Okay. Don't you feel like your execution is, most of the time not really ideal when you're doing it via mobile?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I'm not getting the best price or whatever, but like these days I don't like scalp like the 1 minute that much on my phone or like in
Hmm.
general. Like most of my trades I take with like a weekly or like a daily time frame basis. Like it's not like
Hmm.
intraday stuff. Like I'll be holding stuff for like a couple days, couple weeks kind of thing.
Okay, okay,
So like
okay.
I'm not too concerned about like like 3 bips down. Like oh I'm underwater like 3 basis points. Like,
Anyways, I think you had a list for me with things that you thought were like quite cool that are being built right now.
yeah. So like one of them is this a project I angeled in earlier this year. It's called Apollo ID. Um,
Hmm.
and like they're working on bringing so what Apollo ID does is like it's event management in an app. Um,
Hmm.
and they started off with nightclubs and then they're branching out to like hotels and other ticketed events basically. So
Hmm.
like the whole app is built off of like it goes off of like traditional like Web 2 stuff first. Like
Hmm.
like you just like pay with credit card or whatever. And then like only after they've established like a few vendors and like people who are like loyal to using the app, um, that they've started integrating crypto. So like um, they've been around for a couple of years, and like I think uh, I don't I don't want I don't want Matt to hear this and read me up for getting the facts wrong, but uh, so like um, I so like I know for a fact that like a lot of the I'm sorry, not, but like some of the nightclubs that they've integrated with in New York, it's the
Hmm.
main app to like get into the venue, like to get into the
Hmm.
door. So like people like you'll just have like normal club goers just like open the Apollo ID app and like that's how they get in. Like they don't like
Hmm.
buy a ticket on whatever, or like pay the bouncer like $20 or whatever. Like they just like show the app, like they have their ticket and they just like go in the door. So like it's good that in that like there's like a loyal crowd, like people just like know how to use it, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then like they're bringing on like, oh, you can like pay with USDC on Solana, or like on ETH or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like like it's stuff like that that's like integrating like real world payment um, into like real world use case kind of thing.
Hmm. And what's up with the Initia? Because you officially have like the logo next to your name on Twitter.
So Initia, uh, so like I met the founders like a couple years ago, in 2022. That was back when they were building on Luna, on Terra. And then, like Terra collapsed. And then,
Hmm.
but like they were still like smart guys. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, like these guys are clearly talented. Like it's not their fault that, like Do Kwon's like a criminal, right? Like they're
Yeah.
smart guys. They just happen to be building on a platform that was run like, like that, right? So like they were raising again. I was okay, like, yeah, like it's worth investing in smart people and see what they do with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And are you in it for like is this purely a team bet because you're bullish on the founders, or are you like bullish on the underlying tech itself?
Mostly the founders. In terms of the underlying tech, like from the way they described it, they're trying to make it so that like a usable Cosmos where uh, people like it doesn't have like the problems that Cosmos has today, or like where
Hmm.
Ethereum has today, like the governance impact and issues. So I think it's worth seeing where it goes. Um, you know, it's mostly the team. Like they're smart guys, and we'll it's worth betting on smart people and capable people.
Hmm.
Like
And
they've
as
proved themselves to be able to execute before, so let's see what happens now.
I see. And as a trader that, first started as a pure trader and now, is doing more and more angel rounds, how do you get that good deal flow? Because more and more people are interested through Echo, first of all, but now also they are more interested in getting into private deals themselves and, getting flow outside of Echo. How would you say you got into the right networks to get access to that information and being offered to join around?
Um, I'm not too sure actually. I just like talked to people, and then people talked back, and I don't know, it's just like friendly and like offered help where I could, and then
Hmm.
others were like, oh, like maybe Nani could uh, invest in us, and I guess it started from there. I really have no idea.
Do you think it mainly came from Twitter, or do you think it mainly came from being in real life events and meeting with people?
Maybe both. I think going in person helps because like you filter out a lot of like idiots. Um,
Hmm.
and like you can understand like right away like okay like I don't want to talk to this person, or like this person just here to like grift or whatever. And then like you'll meet some people where it's like, okay, like you clearly like like you're a smart dude, and you're trying to build something cool. Like let's hash it out. Let's see what happens. Like
And
for example, like at one event like last year, um, I just had like random people coming up to me and like pitching projects. Like one of them was
mhm,
like, "Oh, like we're building Farmville on Ton Chain." Like, okay, like cool, great. Or like we're building a social media network on Telegram. Like, okay, so
mhm.
you're building like social media on top of another social media platform. Like, I don't know, like like stuff like this. Like you like right away. It's like okay, like this is like a goofy project, and like it's not going anywhere.
Mhm. And what would you say are like the main events that you think are worth to go to internationally?
Mm, hmm. Not really sure. I think just like because like it depends on how you invest and like how you vibe with people, and the way you uh can judge others as well. So I think if you have the opportunity, you should go to every event to get a large enough sample size where you can filter out what's good and what's not. Um, like being able to build that criteria by yourself.
I see, I see. well, you said that 70% of your activities is still actively trading, but not intraday anymore. How has your strategy evolved from back in the day to what's currently going on?
Um, Let me see. I guess now you have to be a lot more selective with uh, you have to be a lot more picky with asset selection, um, because there's so many new uh, products and coins and tokens and blah blah blah, whatever's available. Um, I think that's really the hardest choice in the beginning to figure out what instrument you want to trade. Um,
Hmm.
and then usually for me, it's filtered by volume. And then like whatever's like the has like decently high volume where you can enter and exit with little slip. It generally means there's higher volatility. If there's higher volume, there's more people trading.
Hmm.
Um, so like in that case, like a lot of momentum-based strategies work there because it's just, like there's more interest in that product itself or in that coin or whatever.
Is your main strategy still momentum based?
A lot of it is, yeah. I generally don't like mean reversion trades. It's just like, like you don't make big money off of it. Like it'll pay the bills, but like it's not particularly uh
Is there
like
like
it's not
how
like
would
it's not gonna like save you. Like
what's like a
you'll
good
feed yourself.
yeah, but what's like a good trigger for you to step in on a momentum trade?
Mm, this looks good, and then I'll just buy.
So a very vibes based.
Yes.
Oh well. Has it, like how has the strategy evolved over the years? Because especially now, I think now we're in a spot where volume is quite centralized again. But for a while, especially right after FTX, we were jumping, from big venue to big venue. Like I remember when FTX
hmm
just got down, the place to trade was GMX. Then it became, a sort of mix of things, but Binance and Bybit basically gained on top again. Then Perp Dex has really started to rise. Like now, Hyperliquid, for example, has total dominance in the Perp Dex space.
hmm
What's your opinion and vision on that?
Mm, yeah, I mean, like I think for most people when they start off trading, they'll be um like either go straight to the trenches on Phantom or they're like on a CEX. Um,
Hmm.
and I think like going onto a perp deck still takes some time for people to understand. Like you need gas money and then you need like actual money to trade with. Um, so like I think it still takes some time for people to get onto a perp deck. Hyperliquid has done it well just because the experience like it's like the same as a CEX basically.
Hmm.
Like I haven't like I wish I found this platform earlier and would have gotten like way more points. Um, like
I'm in the
just
same
using it.
position. I've
Yeah.
been there for 4 months and then I quit when they launched Spot because all the points went to Perk.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit mad because I was like, oh, these are just meme coins. Now they're going like the Jupiter way. So then I quit. My worst financial mistake of the year by far.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunate. Yeah. But
unfortunately,
like their futures perp dex is good. It's really good. Just like
Mhm.
I've used a few other ones in the past and like the experience isn't comparable
Do
to the
you
Hyperliquid
still
one.
mainly trade on centralized exchanges, or have you made the switch already to mainly trade
I'm
on Perps, Dexes?
mostly on Hyperliquid now. But like on the centralized exchange, you can use like Bitcoin as collateral, whereas Hyperliquid it's still USDC only. So like
Yeah,
that's yeah. So like that's like like the one downfall that I'm sure will be changed soon.
I'm sure they will have multi-coin collateral, especially with spot assets being supported soon. But curious to hear because you said like, okay, that's like a weak point of Hyperliquid that you don't have multi-coin collateral. What else would you say Hyperliquid could do and other perplexes to improve their game to make it more appealing to you?
hmm I mean they're doing like they're listing perps like really fast. Like basically like the new FTX listing, like you get the perp listing on Hyperliquid first before like any sex. So like why would you even go into CEX anymore? Like you just trade here.
Yeah,
Mm,
I totally get that. But
yeah,
what are some,
yeah,
weaknesses that you think that they can
yeah,
improve on?
yeah. Let's see. I guess like one thing I use a CEX for is like when I'm migrating money between wallets. Um, like I have like deposit addresses for separate wallets, and then
Mhm.
if I want to move it around, like I can use a CEX for that. Like uh, maybe not for other people out there, but like for me, like I pay all my taxes, and every relevant government authority knows which addresses I own. Uh,
Mhm.
Sorry, when I say I mean the entity that owns these coins. Um, like they know like which one belongs to which. Um, so like that in itself, like it helps like cover up like these rats who track you on chain. Um,
Mhm.
so like Hyperliquid could do that, but I don't know how if they could actually do that, right? Like I think it might end up being flagged as like a mixer or something, and that
Mhm.
could
Mhm.
be less than good.
Yeah, no, 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 definitely understand that. And you talked a little bit, these days that you see a lot of decks that are raising at inflated valuations. What is something that what's basically like your progress when you see a new potential angel investment, besides it giving you the ick because it's like a social media on Telegram, or Farmville on Ton or whatever. What are like some green and red flags that make you reconsider an investment?
Like if they've just been like constantly raising money and like not delivering, like that's something that would stand out as a red flag. Um, let me see what other ones I've run into. Um, there's ones that I've taken calls where like right away it's just like a money grab, and then like you can like basically hear it in the voice like it's a money grab, but whatever.
Yeah,
So
they
like
don't want to
those,
say it.
yeah. Um, Let me see what else. And then there was one with like a with what was that one with that crazy vesting schedule? Um, the one where like Starknet, yeah. Yeah. So there was a project similar to that where like they launched 2 years ago, and then they said they were raising, and then asked them about their unlock schedule, and they said, oh yeah, we started vesting already for like the first round guys who got in like 30x lower or something. I'm like, all right, cool. Right. That's
So
not
you
good.
don't. So basically, like when it's clear that you are sort of exit liquidity, like people can sell, on your bags that are still
Yeah,
vesting. So that's like a red
yeah,
flag for you.
yeah. Like ideally um you want vesting schedules that are aligned with what the project is doing. Like for example, like I know it doesn't happen now because like everything's still in that 1 year cliff, 3 year vest schedule.
Hmm.
But um like what if tokenomics were like like you could like it could be a day one cliff, but we have to hit I don't know like 100,000 users or like on top of like 1 billion volume or something.
So you
Like
want.
some sort of it's like some sort of metric that could um that's hard enough to like not these exact metrics, but like some sort of metrics that are hard to be gamified and it shows that they've delivered and they've onboarded people.
So you would say that you would like to see the vesting schedules basically become performance based, or at least more performance based rather than time based.
Yeah, yeah, because like a lot of these projects like they expire before like the 1 year cliff starts. Like all of these like they just don't they don't find product market fit like within
Hmm.
like the first 3 months, and then I don't know like sometimes like founders refuse to pivot. Like good founders will, right? Like they see like okay like no one wants to use our app, let's build something else. Or like they'll be like okay like we know like this has no users, so like we'll give you back all the money except like the bit we spent, right? Like like those are good founders that you want to back again. Um,
Yeah. Have you seen an example like this before that you can talk about?
Sure, yeah. So like in 21, I invested in in a project that was initially they were building GameFi guilds,
Mhm.
and then like GameFi never really took off, right? And then like they saw that and they were like, okay, well like GameFi's dead, right? Like so like let's build something else. So like in 23 they pivoted to building a wallet, and now they're building a mobile focused wallet. It's called Nest Wallet, by the way. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, like I invested in this obviously. Um, yeah, so like they're building Nest Wallet, and like it's a good experience to use. Um, I guess it's also like difficult for people to switch because like there's a lot of friction in switching wallets, right? Like you have to like import your seed, and then if you screw it up, like you get caught with a keylogger, you lose all your coins, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So like there's like a high friction in terms of switching wallet products, but they're doing their best, and they're building a good product. So I hope they do well.
Regarding switching wallets, over the past few years, well, over the past year or two, Rabi has kind of taken the place of MetaMask and becoming, the industry leader when it comes to wallet design. When you think about it, if I use if I use Firefox, no, fuck, I forgot the name. MetaMask at the moment, it feels kind of like using Internet Explorer back in the day when I'm used to Chrome.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you think? Like, because I know that you were a power user back in the day with MetaMask, and sometimes would even tweet like, okay, maybe now it's time to do an airdrop for the MetaMask swappers. What do you like? If you were in that position, do you still think they could pivot and become industry leader again? And if so, how?
For you mean for MetaMask?
Yes.
Um, I think like most new users, they just go onto Phantom straight away because like it's so clean. Like it just looks like every other like app on your phone. Whereas like MetaMask, like like oh like this is a crypto thing. But like with Phantom, it's like
Yeah.
okay, like it's like it looks cool.
Do you think
Yeah,
that
and like
that normies will still, use Phantom for Ethereum even? Because I understand the Solana part, but Ethereum-wise, like I've tried to use it like once or twice, but it still feels, it's a bit cleaner than MetaMask. But at the end of the day, it's not like it has that many new features compared to, alternatives.
yeah, I mean, from like the people I've talked to who aren't like in the trenches like daily, like who aren't like trading crypto like every hour of the day, like they just found Phantom and like bought and then just traded on there. Like there was like it's pretty straightforward. Like I think they can skip the whole like MetaMask experience if they're on
Hmm.
Phantom.
I say purely because it also, has all of these other chains implemented, and Phantom is, the main thing that normies are using at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and it looks good and it runs well. So like I don't think like there's a need for people to like for new people to go into MetaMask at all.
Yeah, no, I kind of get that. I do think that Phantom, because the race had a pretty high valuation, I still they kind of dropped the ball. Like I think like a Solana D-Bank, product by them would be, extremely good, especially if they can implement it into the Phantom wallet itself, just like Ravi is doing. I think they could get a lot more market share because at the moment, even we don't really have a D-Bank for Solana. We have, platforms like Step.Finance, but they charge money to be implemented. You have Sonar.Watch, but I think they kind of stopped. And alternatives, I don't really know of that many that support Solana.
Yeah. Jupiter, I think, actually just bought Step or one of the other platform trackers, so could be good there. They seem to be doing a lot
Um,
of
I don't think they got
lateral
Step though.
grabs. They bought some sort of wallet tracker. I don't
I
remember the
think I,
name.
I think maybe Sonar could be
Yeah,
because
maybe Sonar. Yeah,
I did read something about it because I know that Step.Finance is now more busy with acquiring new companies because I know that they want to launch a sort of V2 after so many
hmm
years, but I don't think it has that many updates. Like from what I checked, like it was just a new front end update, but not really a lot of new features. Like new protocols are still not being cracked and all of that stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of the 2021 vintage Solana stuff hasn't really changed at all.
I mean, yeah, as someone, because you were very early to DeFi, you were really in the trenches, like from back in the day. I remember you posting about EM farms and all of that stuff. How do you think the market has changed? Like, in its current status, where it's meme coin galore versus yield farming and other stuff in the past. Like, do you think it's a positive development? What do you miss, and what are you happy about seeing in the past few years of changing in the trenches?
Sure. So I think a lot of the credit in the system has contracted. No one's really lending or borrowing at all. They just they just rather like sit on stable coins like over like lending and borrowing against it.
Do you
And I
think
think
that's because of
that's
Genesis
what
and stuff?
I think it's just like years of people being rugged and hacked, and they're like, okay, I don't care anymore, right? Like you have T-bills paying you 5%. Like
Hmm.
you can throw mass like all your money onto like Morgan Stanley, and they'll pay you
Yeah.
5%. They'll guarantee the whole thing. Like why would you ever be on, I don't know, like Aave for like 6%? Like you're gonna risk your entire stack for an extra 1%? Like no, like zero shot. Right?
Is that all?
There's no reason to risk like your like right like let's say like the risk of Aave getting hacked is, I don't know, like I'm making up a number, like 0.1%. Right? Like
Yeah.
is that worth like losing your entire capital for a bonus like 1% of yield like per year?
That's a good question. Is that what you're currently doing? Like, not depositing on Aave, but buying government bonds?
Uh sure, you could say that. Yeah. That could be one of the strategies.
That could be one of the strategies. What are some other of your, what are some other strategies of yours that you're doing to preserve your capital with minimal risk?
uh like take less trades, I think. Just instead of like punting here and there, just like have a more focused approach, more like be more diligent, like minimizing the losses well helps a lot actually. Like both
I know
like
that
mentally and your capital stack.
I know that like back in the day you used to punch shitcoins once in a while. Do you still do that, or did you kind of, pass that to the next generation?
I mean, I got no. I guess I still have like a gambling stack. Uh, I guess yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like in terms like the YOLO moon punts, because like I
Hmm.
know I won't stop, but having that like size limited to make sure it's not gonna like damage like overall portfolio uh,
Yeah,
health.
that's a peace of mind.
Yeah, but like also that like the size I punt into it, like if it does hit a ripper, then like it will make a dent in like it will make like a significant change in the overall size of the portfolio. Is good.
How do you feel about, like, back in the day, we kind of pretended that we, sometimes that, new projects were gonna, be life changing, or that they're building something cool. While currently it's more like, well, I found this new picture of the pet of a celebrity. This is gonna do a 100x. What's your opinion about the changes in the markets from that perspective, and where it's also now very directional, like, LPing isn't really, that much done as back in the day because we had all of these incentives. Now it's more of a, you basically punt a low cap shitter and you just hope that it's going to go up. How has your strategy changed in, like, selecting these coins? Do you just go for whatever's put in the group chat, or do you kind of do some level of DD?
Um, I guess in terms of like exiting, like before like because there were so many liquidity provision incentives, um, like you wouldn't have that much slippage. But these days, like I feel like for exiting, like when you see a high volume event, you have to like clip out like some or a lot of your bag, because like you don't know when the volume's gonna pick up again. Because like after that volume spike, a lot of the times these coins just like zero out. It just like slow bleed to zero, and then they have like maybe like one or two events where it'll bring back the volume, and then it'll just continue slow bleeding. So like like the state of the market is that like if you don't exit, you're just like stuck. So it's hard for people to like hold anything beyond like a few weeks or months.
Do you, like, when you exit and you are hoping for these high volume events, do you wait for them to happen and then sell, or do you do a strategy of like limit orders of one-sided LPing?
I just see high volume and I just like market sell.
Yes, market sell. And are you never afraid of, that if you, in case that you do like a full stack Hitler, that it will have a big effect on the chart? Or do you just say, well, fuck it,
I
I got my liquidity, so.
I mean, like I always like keeping a moon bag, so I'm not gonna like fully exit anything. But yeah, I mean, like you see these like you see these giant volume spikes, and you're like, okay, like I have to like TP some here. It's like when am I gonna get another chance to secure some profit?
Well, Binance listing, right?
Uh, I mean, some of them happen with Binance. I don't know, like Act One, like that Act coin, the ACT coin or whatever.
Yeah.
That one was pretty crazy. What, it was like 30 mil market cap, and they listed this,
Were you
and then
in
it
early
ran.
on that one?
That one. No, I actually no, I didn't trade that one. I just remember watching them list, and I was like, oh, like, very cool.
I mean, it's crime season, right? So you're allowed to do whatever you want.
I would I would advise all listeners not to do anything illegal. Actually,
Yeah,
um,
but well, you get what I mean. Anyways, were there any like big runners that you had this year? Oh well, last year, speaking.
um, yeah, Hyperliquid was nice.
Can you tell how many points you had?
No,
Too bad. Well, I hope you at least had more than normal, who just got like 20,000 points for buying like what was it, 100k of per or something like that.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
got the plushie, so I think that in itself is worth like a million
screw
points.
you. I still don't have the plushie. I do have like 4 or 5 of those NFTs, so that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Um, they're going for like 40, 50, 60k right now, I think.
yeah, yeah. There's people want them. It's like a 5,000 collection right now. Who knows what it does, but I
Yeah,
guess it'd be cool if people buy them.
I mean, I hope people keep buying them because I want to sell, but I don't want to do it through an OTC market. So,
Yeah. Like, is there a way to sell?
yeah, so
Like,
you have like the Hyper Fun Collective or something like there is some kind of I think Loracle, like the big market maker on
yeah, yeah,
Hyperliquid, is
yeah.
like part of it because a friend of mine wanted to sell it, but I think it's you basically sell your plushie, but you also have to like upfront the collateral. So it's basically like only good if you want to hedge. It's not like if
Hmm.
you need the liquidity because you still have to put up like the 50k as collateral in case that you rug. But yeah. I don't really know like the market of those. I know that the Hyper EVM is going to come soon, but how good will it be? That's also another question. I do know a lot of like teams are building on it, but I'm curious to see what the Hyper Foundation will do with the remaining money in the treasury because they still have what is it 33% I think for community incentives and other stuff. Like I'm sure Hyperscan and some other players will get a nice check because of the tools that they've built. But I'm curious to see if there will be another points program or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll offer something for current users. I mean,
Well,
it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, no, I get definitely what you mean, but you should. I think, to be honest, Nani, that you would really like extend it. Like I know, of course, you're not shilling anything here, especially something that you haven't used, but I think you would enjoy it a lot. Like we have the same speeds as Hyperliquid, and we have some stuff on the way that you were just complaining about that aren't implemented on Hyperliquid.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I could take a look here.
Definitely sounds good. Well, those are all the questions that I had. Do you have anything else left?
Um, sure. Here's one. All right, Casper, what do you think is the low for BTC for this year and the high for BTC for this year?
I have no fucking clue.
All right, give me your best. Give me your best
But
guess.
here's the thing, man. I don't know. Like Trump is going full crime mode. Like, how far will he go with legalization? Like, I'm already surprised that Bitcoin hit 100k. Like, I didn't expect that at all. Meanwhile, my main bag Ethereum is in the gutter, eating shit
Uh,
24/7. So,
yeah.
I'm absolutely coping. Like, I had some good alt plays. I missed the entire meme cycle. Like, there is not much hope
Nice.
left. I mean,
Very good.
there were some good perps to trade, but like I mean, then it's for a short period and then it's over. So I'm kind of stuck in this period where I'm in some some big bags and then that's basically it. for the moment. I'm just waiting it out.
Yeah, ETH
All
has
right.
not been a great coin to hold this year.
Nah, I'm surprised it took so many shits, but oh well. I do really think and hope that with Betachain now launching Mega Ethereum, I think we'll soon like do a public testnet. We have Monad, so I hope some Ethereum interest is going to come back. Because at the moment, the most of the DeFi applications on Solana, I think, are extremely boring and don't really add that much value.
Yeah.
Or
I
aren't
think a
that
lot
fun
of
to
it
use.
comes back to the credit thing I was mentioning earlier. Like no one really wants to risk like full stack for a bonus like 2%, right? Like I feel like stable coins need to yield like 20-25% for people to actually start lending and borrowing again just to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that will come at some point. I've got some pretty decent farms where I get those yields.
Yeah.
And where you can get some insurance via open cover and stuff, but it's still, it's not ideal. It's not like it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, then. But those are all the questions that I had for you. Thank you for coming on, Nani. It was a pleasure having you. Until next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.